All right, I'm not gonna lie, you're a bit of a genius. You're smarter than most because you tuned into a video today which is gonna show you the shockingly effective way to get any job that you want that's over 6 figures. In fact, the psychological tactics you're about to watch in this video are groundbreaking. They're so unknown that you might think in order to get a 6-figure job, you have to have lots of experience. But that's absolutely false because you probably know a manager that's not as skilled as you, not as educated as you, maybe even younger than you, and this person is making 6 figures. So how does that work? How does that work? That belief just gets shattered in that moment because you realize that somebody is doing better than you. So in order to make 6 figures a year, what's required is just this. You know 4 answers to 4 questions. That's about it. Once you understand the answers to these questions, it flips the game upside down. So before I give you these questions and answers, what I encourage you to do is share this video with a friend who will benefit from it. Because if you're on your way up, you know you have some buddies of yours, some friends that are also on their come up as well. So share the video with them. The secrets you're about to uncover right here are just the tip of the iceberg. In fact, they come from my conversation mentoring program. And if you want to get a taste of that, just a little smidgen, what I recommend you do is sign up for the 7-day conversation challenge. That is starting this Monday, August the 3rd, okay? So that's tomorrow. It's a free challenge, 7 days long, working with me personally, one-on-one. I'm gonna give you exercises, missions, challenges, all kinds of things to make you get out of your comfort zone, feel socially free, and also ace job interviews and get a raise that you deserve. Hell yeah. Now, you might not realize it, but we all have psychological barriers that are holding us down. You don't even realize it. This is preventing how much money you can make and how successful you can be. It's essentially like a thermostat in your brain telling you, oh, no, you don't deserve this. Go back down to the lower wage that you think you deserve, okay? So you need to get rid of these beliefs that you have. And you might even realize where they came from. They could have came from school, where school said, get an education and then you can make more money. It came from your parents that said, money is the root of all evil. There's a lot of places these beliefs could have came from, and it's not necessarily your fault. So what we're gonna do is jump into one of my live events so you can get down and dirty with the information you're about to see here and learn a ton. Without any further ado, take notes, sit back, relax, let's do it. Now that you're all here, I'm gonna teach you guys how to make a little bit more money. This is my system to get, first of all, the job that you want with the higher salary, okay? Yeah, so this is all going to apply to every single one of you. This is going to be like taking the social dynamics that we learned in dating and then flipping these social dynamics to help us make a little more cash. This is very good for you if you're changing careers or if you're just trying to get a promotion in the same industry you already work. So you're trying to like go for another job, switch companies. You know, maybe you're at the power plant, you're like, fuck this, I've been here for like 3 years, 2 years, I want to try something different. You want to go to a different competing power plant, this would be perfect for you, okay? So, we all know that businesses have a lot of money. They don't have an unlimited amount of money, but they have a lot of money. So the thing is, when you go for a job, typically they'll say, typically when you go for a job, you're thinking that you're gonna get a certain amount of money and they have a certain amount of money available. It's not that the company doesn't have any more money, it's just the company doesn't have any more money for you. There's no more money for you. Why do they not have that money for you? The company has money. Why do they not have money for you?
I think the value that you bring to their establishment. So if they see you at 50 grand, they're going to be like, okay, you're set at 50 grand.
Exactly. You see, you're bringing, in other words, it's like value exchange. You're bringing $50,000 worth of value to the company, and that therefore you're worth $50,000. And that value could be $50,000 of profit, even, right? You can bring in 100K, but if you're only 50,000 of that is only your profit, then you're only worth 50K profit. So what has to happen is that your value has to be more than what you're bringing in. And you have to have projection of the opportunity to bring in more value in the future. So whenever you go for a job interview, the person at the HR manager is usually designed to screen you for how much money you're gonna bring in. That's the goal. There's more money in the pocket, they have it. They have a budget, but they're screening for how much value you bring in. So the way I came up with this stuff is I used to have a lot of friends of mine that were HR directors and VPs at some of the banks, as you know, like BMO, Bank, right? Like some other large banks in Canada, some HR firms. And I would sit there and I'd ask these people, actually somebody was part of the HR recruiting firm. My ex-girlfriend is a VP at one of these big hiring companies. I won't mention which one, but yeah, because there's only like 3 that are the big ones that you're gonna think of, and she's one of those, okay? And I'd sit there and I'd talk to her and say, how do you decide you're gonna hire somebody? Because let's say you get 2 guys, they both come out of school, they have the same education. Like I just finished school and I have a degree in not something useless like art, sorry, but like something like, sorry, not sorry, something like accounting. One guy comes out, he's a chartered accountant, next guy comes out, he's a chartered accountant. How do you decide which one you're gonna hire? These guys are like, that's art, not a useful degree. So they decide who they're gonna hire based on these 4 questions. And you already know what the 4 questions are. You've heard them every single interview. First question is, why do you have a gap in your employment? Why were you off for 2 years? What happened there? Okay, that's the question they're gonna ask you. And then they're also gonna ask you, what?
What experience do you have?
Well, they can see your experience on your resume.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. They can see your experience.
Why do you want the job?
Yeah, why do you wanna work here? Why do you wanna work here? They're gonna ask you that one. Okay? They're gonna also ask you, what are your worst skills? What are your worst habits? Like, where do you mess up?
What do you like least about your job?
Yeah, what do you like least about your job? Or like, what are your worst skills? What are you not good at? Okay? And they're gonna ask you your last question, what are your salary expectations? So, that's great. What are your salary expectations exactly? And all these 4 questions are designed to trap you. These are evil social dynamic questions. They're designed to trap you, okay? And so what you need to do is figure out how to answer these questions. Let's go through the bad answers first. First question, which is the first question there?
The gap in your employment.
Mm-hmm. What's the horrible answer, or what do you think is a good answer for gap in the employment? Let's start with that. Oh, no, we'll do a horrible answer first. What do you think a horrible answer is for gap in the employment?
Finding myself.
Yeah, I was on vacation. I was finding myself. After I got terminated from my last place of employment, I decided to go to India and get the pants and find myself on a path of enlightenment. I started painting, working on my hip hop career, right? That's not the answer you want to give, okay? What do you think is a good answer?
Overseas experience?
Mm-hmm.
Working overseas?
Yeah, I mean, I went to learn English as a second language, or I went to learn Japanese as a second language, something like that, you know?
Japan to
Yeah.
English there and they don't have
Yeah, exactly. I would say out of my field to learn Japanese, teach English as a second language in Japan. That's cool because at least you're productive. Here's what they're looking for. They're looking for a continued education and process while you were still off, preferably in your field. That's what they're looking for. So the best answer is to do this is like, I decided that I wanted to go increase my skills in the blah, blah, blah area, nuclear power area. So I decided to take a course online with blah, blah, blah school, or I decided to go intern for blah, blah, blah. That's the best thing you can do. Increase your skills, go intern. Even if you're unemployed, bro, even if you're not making any money, just still go say you intern somewhere and just still like take a course in that area to show you were still learning. You could be off for a year or 2, but as long as you're keeping your skills current and updating your skills, that's what they want to see, okay? So I'm not telling you can't like get the job you don't have. Like I'm not telling you like find an invisible job that you couldn't get. Like I'm just telling you to increase your skills in that area when you were off. Question number 2, what are they gonna ask you?
So, why do you want to work here?
Why do you want to work here? And what's the worst answer for that? What's the truth? What's the truth? The truth, first of all, is I need some fucking money, bro. I need a job. Like, I'm here for the money. Why are you here? Like, let's be straight up. That's the truth. Yeah? So what's the worst answer to give them?
Oh, the benefits are amazing.
Yeah, the benefits are amazing. Your vacation days look great. Also sometimes they go like, do you have any other further questions? You're like, yeah, how many sick days do I get? I plan on using them all. If somebody comes to me, they want to work for me, and I'm like, so you have any further questions? And they're like, yeah, so like, do I get free digital courses when work? I'm like, your head's in the wrong space. Okay? So, yeah, why do you want to work here? The better answer to say, or what they're looking for when they say, why do you want to work here? As they're looking to say, they're actually saying, why do you want to work here? It's like when a girl says, why do you want to date me? And you don't have to say, because you're hot. Why do you want to date me? Like, take some time, think about her, have some insight, perceive what's cool about her. What do you like about her characteristic? What do you like about her personality? And perceive that and really take time to investigate mentally. That's what she's looking for. So the company wants the same thing. They want to feel like you chose them just as much as they're choosing you. Aww. Okay? So you got to choose the company. So it's why did you choose this company? It's not because it's on Wikipedia or on Workopolis or Monster.com and it showed up, or Indeed. Why did you choose this company? The correct answer is, I went to your website and I read an article by your VP, your director, your blah, blah, blah. And he had some really good points about blah, blah, blah subject. And I researched it. And it turns out, I think the solution to the company's problem would be blah, blah, blah. Come with some value, okay? So, A, you had an interest in somebody in the company. B, you did some research. C, you saw the challenges they were having. And D, here's a possible solution that you've already been thinking about. What I would do back in the day is, there was this very large magazine, we'll bleep this out, Ask Men. That was very large back in the day. And I was applying there to be their head of marketing. And I went and I made a presentation for them. And they still use that information to this day. Now, I didn't get the role there, but the idea was that I came with value and I came with solutions to their problems, right? So if you and another guy have the same education, the solution to the problem is what the company's going to go for. All right, third question. What's the third question?
What's the least favorite part about your last job?
Least favorite part about your last job, or they're going to say, so what are the worst skills that you have? What are you bad at? No, it's the truth. You know, I come in late sometimes. I steal muffins from the cafeteria. Like, that's the truth, right? Coming late, I steal some muffins from the cafeteria. You know, there's this girl in accounting that's really hot. Sometimes I look at her, and but like, I can't really right now because I got a girlfriend too. It's complicated.
Hate my boss.
I don't really like my boss that much. He's kind of a jerk, my last place. And, in time we'll see, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's the real answer, okay? That's the real answer, unfortunately. So, what's the truth that you can give? What's the truth that you can't give? I'm not telling you to lie. What's the truth? What's the truth they're looking for?
I'm improving on this area at work where I am, probably not as focused as I should be at this task when I'm given the task.
Yeah, you got the idea. The idea is like, here's where I honestly am bad. Okay, honestly, glad you asked that question. Really bad at organization. In fact, I've been that way for a while, and I wasn't satisfied with that either. So what I decided to do was take XYZ course, or read the book, The Zen of Art of Maintenance, or whatever the book is that you're reading on that, and to improve in that area. And I'm seeing some results. Slow, but I'm seeing results. They just want to know you have a plan of action for your weaknesses. That's all they want to know. Do you have a plan of action for your weaknesses? And if they can see that, then they're going to be satisfied. All right? I'm okay with my video guys not being amazing at marketing, but I want them to learn a little bit of marketing. I want them to have a plan of action for marketing, because then they can edit the videos in a way where it resonates with the audience. Okay? It's okay to be bad at something, but you gotta have a plan of action to be better at it. That's the idea. Okay, some pimp shit. Last one, question number 4.
Salary expectations.
What's the truth? Truth is, give me as much money as possible. But I got stuck last time. Got stuck in my expectations of salary. It's a really tricky question too, because depending on how you answer this question, they might not give you any more. So let's do a little role play here, okay? Little role play. I'll do it with you. Just talk loud so we can hear you. All right. Actually, I'll do it with you just for fun. You have to learn, you get the most out of it. So, what are your salary expectations, young man?
Looking for something that's gonna, sustain me as I work here, so I can continue to grow and invest myself in other areas.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, cool, great. So, what number did you have in mind?
Like you looking for like a yearly total or?
Yeah, annually, yeah.
Look for something in the $100,000 range.
$100,000. Interesting. And is that the highest or the lowest, TB?
Yeah, well, it's like a range, so like
100,000. Okay. Interesting. Thank you very much. We'll let you know.
Okay.
Right? And that's how it usually goes. It's a very cornering question. It's like if you're on a date with a partner and so the person says, "You think you're gonna have sex with me tonight? You wanna have sex with me tonight?" And you're like, "I kinda do." But if I say yes, I know you're gonna walk away. you're kinda stuck there, right? It's like between a rock and a hard place. You're like, I wanna tell the truth, but you feel like I have to lie. So there's a way to maneuver this question, right? And the way to maneuver the question is, if they're asking you what your salary expectations are, here's what you got to do. You got to go and do some research first. So, if you're applying for, to be perfectly honest, you're applying to be a manager even at Starbucks, right? Manager at Starbucks. You go onto Glassdoor.com. That's a great website. GLASSDOO.com. And on Glassdoor.com, you can see what people are making in the industry for that salary, based on the country. You can see per the company as well. So if it's a lower, let's say coffee store manager, barista manager, whatever it is, lower chains, you can see that. If it's a coffee store manager at a higher chain, you can see that. If it's a restaurant manager, you can see that. You can see like what the expectations are. So now you have a range in mind, okay? Range is 75K to 100K. All right, great. Now I got a range in mind. Here's how you answer the question when they say, "So what are your salary expectations?" You say, "Well, I'm glad you asked. I went on the internet." I went on Glassdoor and I looked at the range for this type of position. And now the person's like, "Oh shit," right? Because now they know you have some firepower. I looked at the range for the type of position, and it seems to be like in the neighborhood of $75,000 to $100,000. And I was curious, what's your flexibility? So you throw it back on them. What's your budget? You ask them, what's your flexibility? What's your budget? Because everybody that hires you, it's not their money, guys. If somebody hires you, it's not the money out their pocket. It's company money. It's not even their money. It's somebody else's money. And they have that money available to them. So they can be resourceful and they can come up with the money for you. And they would. Like if this company found out that like Taylor Swift wants to be the manager at the store, they'd be like, they'd find the money. They'd find the money to hire that person, right? So they have the money available. It's just that there's a budget, and every person's given a budget. And there's a top range for that budget and a lower range for that budget. So what happens is you have to say that you know what the top range is already, and then figure out what their top range is. So you see, what's your budget? What's your budget in that? How flexible are you? And then she's gonna say to you, she's gonna look down like caught red-handed, right? She's like, "Well, my manager or the director has given me 75 to 120,000 is the range." And there you go. That sounds about right.
Will they disclose that?
They will.
Okay.
They will, because you already know it from the internet. You already done your research. You already know what the range is, right? And again, the budget is not their cash in their pocket. It's not their money. It's not me coming to you and say, "Hey man, what's your credit card number?" It's not that personal. It's like I'm saying, "Hey man, how much do you think da-da-da is worth?" And they're telling you what they think it's worth, right? They will disclose it. 9 times out of 10 they'll disclose it. Unless it's like a small mom and pop shop, then they might not disclose it. All right? So, those are the 4 answers you need to know those questions to make an extra $10,000 this year. Every year I did that, I made probably an extra 20K that following time. Okay? And that goes for if you're changing positions, that goes for if you're changing companies. Okay? That also goes for if you're applying for a promotion at your own company that you're working at.
If you have a boss or a manager or HR department and you're trying to go in from a manager to director position, you're also going to have to navigate, not all, but a few of these questions. This is how you do it. Yeah.
So where I'm at right now, it's uncapped commission, but we also have a base salary.
Mm.
So essentially, the better you do, the more you get paid, but it's uncapped. So how do you suggest, or what could I do there? Or just like, is your answer just, okay, do better than that?
Yeah, if you're in a position where you're uncapped commission, but your base salary, you have the choice of either moving up to managerial or director position in that same department, or doing some additional work or bring some skills that would shape that group that would give them more revenue. So it's like if you learned, if you were really good at getting in touch with this guy, did seminars, for example, on marketing, and you connected them to do this marketing seminar for all your team, and you did that like once or twice, then the director would say, okay, you're bringing some additional value to the team. Let's raise your base, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But their goal is that your commission outweighs your base. That's their goal. They're trying to get there. But if you bring additional value to the team, you could do that. If you have additional skills, you can do that. Or if you move up in the managerial director position, you can do that.
No, that makes sense. Because we also are starting new programs where we like lead sales teams as well. So then there's incentives to have, like, let's say I manage a sales team, and then if my team is doing well, then I get commission on that as well.
Yeah, you're going to want to do that because also it's the associate manager thing. It will help you. It will help you get more. That's the idea. Right. Being an associate manager, and then maybe manager, and then maybe regional manager, then directorial manager, then VP of whatever. Like that's the chain, right? So I would say if you want to, like if you're interested in that, take the opportunity if it's there. Absolutely, because the opportunity is also going to come when somebody else fucks up and somebody else loses their job. And eventually, at some point, somebody else in the organization will always mess up and leave, or mess up and be terminated, and then that's your opportunity at that point to fill the shoes. The company will need somebody with those skills, and now you've had those skills and you're already moving up, so they're going to need somebody.